RAV4 starting lineup. Cool afternoon here in Cincinnati as Tim Adelman makes his 4th appearance and 3rd start for the Reds. First start this year was actually for the AAA club in Louisville, and here is the Pirates starting lineup. Again, RAV4, Josh Harrison, John Jaso, Andrew McCutchen with a couple of home runs in this series. Gregory Polanco hoping to end his struggles today. Josh Bell will follow, then Francisco Cervelli returns behind the plate. Alan Hansen, Gifton Gope, and Ivan Nova for the 12 and 15 Pittsburgh Pirates. Josh Harrison has 3 home runs in the series. J.A. hit a pair on Monday night in the 4-3 extra inning loss, and then helped the Pirates to a 12-3 victory on Tuesday night. Tim Adelman, 29-year-old from Staten Island, New York.
Yeah, he is one of those guys I think that Pirates are going to want to get in the strike zone. Make sure you don't, start chasing him, because he's not a stuff guy, not a real hard thrower. So be patient with him. Let him try and come to you and get some of those, like mediocre velocity fastballs out over the plate, elevated a little bit. Now, if he proves that he can make the spots, then maybe you're going to have to go out after him, but don't get real aggressive against him. I think that's kind of falling into his trap if you go up to the plate like that.
The defense for the Cincinnati Reds, and it starts with that center fielder, Billy Hamilton. Defense brought to you by Honda. Adam Duvall in left, Scott Schebler is in right, Eugenio Suarez, Jose Peralta on the left side. Zach Cozart gets another day off. Arismendi Alcantara is at second base with Joey Votto at first. And Tucker Barnhart behind the plate. Devin Mesoraco made the start both the Tuesday and Wednesday nights. Barnhart started on Monday night with Amir Garrett on the mound. Pirates saw Adelman twice last year, his rookie season, and he pitched well. Gave up 2 runs in 6 innings in each of those starts, and a strike underway. .54 degrees at game time. An hour late to start.
Rain pretty much all morning here. Hopefully we'll have a nice window this afternoon to finish this one off.
Well, your suggestion of not helping out Adelman, that's not what Josh Harrison did. He really helped out Adelman there.
Well, Adelman was out on the edge. He didn't give him anything down the middle to hit, although these pitches that are kind of up and away, they're only 90 miles an hour. You'd think that you'd be able to at least foul those off. Maybe next time up. Interesting with J.A. looking at his splits, he just among the league leaders against lefties, and at night. Well, now it's a right-hander and it's daytime out. See what kind of game he has. He's been really hot. Home run balls.
John Jaso 0 for 3 last night, 2 for 9 in the series.
I see some slow curve balls from Adelman. You're going to see change-ups.
Suarez in shallow left. 2 up and 2 down.
Was that Suarez that was dancing the salsa up on the scoreboard during the rain delay?
Yes, the rain delay salsa.
Had him up there for a long time.
Kept
everybody entertained for quite a while. Eventually they had to go to something else. But I would say that his salsa dance was probably up on the board longer than anything else they had for the rain delay entertainment.
Andrew McCutchen 1 for 5 last night. That one hit the 2-run homer. The Pirates were down 7-0 in the 7th when he hit his 5th of the season.
Long home run up into the second deck in left field.
Any idea about what the estimated distance was?
Estimated distance was 432, Greg. I thought it was just a little further than that, but I don't.
What would you have thought? I mean, if it was 432, what did you say? Man, that's going to sneak in there. 2-out single for McCutchen.
I thought it was a little better than I thought it was better than 440.
440?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I thought. You be the judge.
All right, let me see.
Powell, there it is. That's a long one.
That is definitely a long one.
Hit above that scoreboard.
Okay.
A couple rows up there.
Yep.
It's got to be 440. 443, 444.
I'll go with 444.
Yeah. I like it when they just like eyeballed him and somebody in the press box said, well, that's probably about it. And you went with that.
Do you think that was more accurate?
No, I don't know if it was more accurate or not, but I'll say this, it was just as meaningful.
Gregory Polanco is 0 for 6 in the series.
It really was more fun for us, too, because you could sit here and say, oh, no way, that's not right. Of course, I still do that.
Reminiscent of Arizona.
Well, we're going there next road trip.
Go back out there.
I'm going to take you up there.
Okay.
And you can decide for yourself.
I'll eyeball it.
I still have all the pictures, the video. Saved everything. My investigation.
Well, Gregory Polanco struggling, 0 for 6 in the series, just 3 hits and 17 at bats on the road trip. And the Reds have befuddled him not just this season. He's 1 for 13 in the season series, but a .205 career hitter against Reds pitching. It really doesn't matter whether he's here or at PNC Park. Struggles both venues. Even worse here at Great American.
Which is odd. This is one of the best hitting parks in the league, as far as I think. I'm sure most hitters would agree. You don't want to miss any at bats here. Come in as a visitor.
Lays off the Adelman pitch, 2-1. Josh Bell on deck. Polanco did draw a walk last night, and Devin Mesoraco at one point was called for catcher's interference. Clint Hurdle referenced that before the game. Thought, no, maybe that would kind of prove the point about that swing getting really long for Polanco. There's Mesoraco, his first home run in almost 3 years. A walk puts runners at first and second.
Now that was kind of along the lines of what we were talking about a few moments ago with your approach to Adelman. He is not, as I said, a stuff guy. So getting him to try and challenge somebody in the heart of that strike zone, he's not going to do it very often. So show some patience and don't go after the pitches he wants you to hit. He wants you to put the borderline stuff in play. Like that pitch right there. Now, if he gets some calls, you get behind 2 strikes, you're going to have to start swinging at stuff like that. But until that happens, be patient, wait.
Bell 1 for 3 with a walk last night. Home plate umpire Mark Ripberger calls that a strike, 1-1. This crew has been with us for all 4 games, with Phil Cuzzy at first, Vic Carapazza at second, and the crew chief right there at third is Tom Hallion. One ball, 2 strikes on Josh Bell.
That's the spot that really, when the game starts, he knows that no matter what kind of fastball the pitcher throws, that's what he's going to see a lot of. Everybody's going to try and crowd him with that pitch.
Wow. Tim Adelman strikes out a couple. Gives up a ground single and a walk. Half inning, Pirates nothing. Ivan Nova will take the hill. Pirates leave a couple in the top of the first. About an hour rain delay. Red starting lineup against Ivan Nova. Billy Hamilton will lead things off. Then Jose Peraza at short. Joey Votto is 2 out of 7 with a homer. Has walked 5 times in the series. Adam Duvall hits cleanup. Eugenio Suarez homered in last night's ball game. Scott Schebler, Arismendi Alcantara, Tucker Barnhart, and Tim Adelman, the starting 9. Billy Hamilton was 1 for 5, hit his first home run of the season in last night's ball game.
I see some folks kind of moving back a little bit. Some umbrellas popping. That's not a good sign, Greg.
You know, this is kind of a dilemma for a team like the Pirates, because if this game isn't finished, you'd hate to waste Nova. First pitch swinging and a fly ball to center sends McCutchen back. Billy Hamilton hit the home run last night. Gives that one a ride. 1 pitch, 1 out. They'll bring up Jose Peraza.
Should be Nova's nickname. 1 pitch, 1 out. How many times do you think you've said that in his starts?
Lots.
1 pitch, 1 out.
His last start, 95 pitches, the complete game shutout, 3-hitter against the Marlins. And he was asked about that question. He's only walked 1 this season and 4 as a Pirate. Is that kind of his goal? He said, no, not at all. I'm not out there not to walk guys. I'm out there to have him put it in play and throw good pitches.
The game that he started before the Miami game, I think there was the
Yankees.
Yeah, there was a situation. I don't remember exactly who the hitter was, but he got into a 3-2 count and with somebody on base too, and he couldn't just lay one in there and not walk whoever it was, you know, and so it was Cervelli, Stewart. It doesn't make any difference, but whoever was catching put down a sign for a fastball and moved way in. I mean, just right on the inside corner. He threw the ball right there. It got fouled off. Next pitch, same thing, right on the outside corner. And Cervelli moved all the way the other side. Put the ball right there. Perfect pitch, outside corner, right the glove. Popped up for the out. He wasn't. There was no thought about, oh, I'm just going to throw a strike here. No, he's trying to make pitches, even though he was in a rare, for him, 3-ball count. So no, he's not just thinking about not walking people, trying to make pitches. Now, of course, in certain situations where he's got a little bit of a lead or early in the ball game, he might be going for a little bit of a bigger piece of that plate.
Bounced over the mound, second base Hansen. Good little play there by Alan Hansen, far to his right, and throwing on and getting Peraza. A bang play. Brian Price wants to hold up. Take a look at it.
Peraza, very good speed. Tough play. He got a lot on his throw for not having any momentum going toward where he was trying to throw.
Well, that's impressive.
Yep.
Strong play by Alan Hansen. Joey Votto.
He's got an excellent arm. He's played a lot of shortstop.
Be ready, and Ivan Nova is out on the mound. You can get the ball at any time, be on your toes. This is a great matchup right here. Ivan Nova, the strike thrower, and Joey Votto, maybe the best of the game in terms of knowing the strike zone. How will this matchup end? Ground ball to Hansen. 9 pitches for Ivan Nova. 1, 2, 3. Go the Reds.
is brought to you by Allegheny Health Network, the largest health system rated #1 in the region for all the things that matter most. And by Kenny Ross Subaru, total confidence pricing. Let's go Bucks!
On to the second inning. 0-0. The Pirates come to bat against Tim Adelman. And it is Francisco Cervelli returning to the lineup for the first time since Saturday in Miami. That foot issue that has been bothering him. And a base hit right away, wasting no time. Lining the ball up the middle. Cervelli on against Tim Adelman.
He got a ball that was away from him a little bit and didn't try to pull it right back through the middle.
Good looking shot there in the Allegheny Health Network Supermo, right up the middle.
That's the pitch that as a pitcher you're wanting the hitter to try and hook that ball. If you go out and try to hook an outside pitch, a lot of times, more often than not, you roll that top hand over a little bit and you get on top of the baseball and you hit the ground ball.
Hansen trying to bunt for a hit. At the very least it would have moved Cervelli. Hansen 0 for 1 with a walk last night. He did not start. Pinch hit for John Jaso in the 7th inning and drew a free pass. He was aboard when Andrew McCutchen homered. He is 4 for 11 on the trip. Second hit for the Pirates against Adelman. Hansen the switch hitter. He has seen Adelman in the past, at least one time last year. Adelman was pitching for Louisville, and Hansen for the Pirates AAA affiliate in Indianapolis. And Adelman, the 29-year-old from Staten Island, New York, was a 24th round pick of the Baltimore Orioles in 2010 out of Georgetown. And the Orioles released him in the spring of 2012. He did not give up the game. Went and played independent league ball for a couple of years. Played for the Lincoln Salt Dogs, the El Paso Diablos, the American Association Independent League Ball in 2012, and then in the Canadian American Association League team for the New Jersey Jackals in 2013. And a 1.46 ERA caught the attention of the Reds. So they signed him to a minor league contract. Spent 2014, 2015 seasons in the minor leagues with the Reds, and his first taste of the big leagues last season. Made 13 starts. Two and 2 on Hansen.
He's not got the stuff that really catches the eye of a scout. He had to really prove himself.
Started this year in the minors, made 1 start for Louisville, and was scheduled to make another start, but was scratched from the game against Columbus when Brandon Finnegan was placed on the disabled list, the lefty who was in the rotation for the Reds at the start of the season. Time was called there. Mark Ripperger stepping out. Shallow left, long run Duvall, but he's going to get there. Hansen is retired. Adelman gets the first out here in the second.
So far, Adelman's done a pretty good job of just staying away from everybody, right-handers and left-handers. Not giving them really anything to hit on the inside half of the strike zone at all. Just way away.
So does that mean as a hitter you go up there and just think that way?
Yeah, I think you got to have, if that's what he's doing and he's having success at it. Again, there it is, right on the outside corner for a strike. second time through the lineup, you got to make a little adjustments, and that goes on all game with hitters and pitchers. You try to take something away from them that they've been doing well. Now here, the rare pitch going to be inside.
Toward right center field, and that'll scoot toward the wall. Francisco Cervelli is going to be waved home by Joey Cora, and here comes the throw toward the plate, and he is going to be in there. Gifton Gope doubles into the right center field gap and picks up his 4th run batted in 14 at bats. A 1-0 Pirates lead in the second.
He's been doing such a strong job with that bat. And this double here really testing the bad foot of Cervelli. To go a long way to score on this ball.
You can see, Bob, that was his approach, even though that pitch was coming in.
Yeah, he tried to get that ball in, but he just stayed on the inside of the baseball. When it's coming into the plate, a lot of the hitters, their approach is to try and focus on the inside half of the baseball, and that's the side they want to hit. Hamilton, at all that speed, he still couldn't cut the ball off. If he gets to it before it gets to the track, and then Cervelli is not going to be able to score. He's got to hold up. And Gope able to hit it hard enough to make it through the gap.
And Gope already has his first major league triple and delivers his first major league double. Getting all the firsts out of the way. The next thing on the list will be the home run. And Ivan Nova goes down for the second out. So Francisco Cervelli at first.
And no sign of a problem. There's no break in his stride, no limping.
And a smile and a little pickup from Nova.
Always going to be a smile on his face.
Joey Cora had the windmill going. Pirates third base coach.
If you don't have the pitcher coming up next, you might think of holding him because just one out, but that was certainly worth the 1-out gamble to get that windmill going.
Josh Harrison struck out to start the ball game.
Yeah, Greg, even though we can't hear what they're saying, when I'm watching that shot, I can hear Cervelli's voice.
Yes, I know.
Replaying it.
Yep. I was thinking that as I'm watching that. I'm trying to recreate that in my mind.
I hear the voice he uses on the scoreboard.
Yeah, that's right.
When he's giving advice.
Gifton Gope, RBI double. Gives the Pirates the lead against Tim Adelman, who for a few seasons was strictly a relief pitcher. The Reds started making him a starting pitcher toward the end of the 2014 season at AA Pensacola. And in the air to right center field, Schebler and Hamilton give chase. It is Schebler for the final out. Francisco Cervelli led off with a base hit up the middle, and Gifton Gope brought him home, and the Bucks lead 1-0. Point Park University tweet from Dale with Francisco Cervelli back in the lineup. I protected him from future injury. Got the bubble wrap around the Cervelli bobblehead. It's a smart idea. Protect the Pirates catcher. When's your bobblehead?
I wonder if Cervelli would actually think of coming out on the field with some stuff wrapped around all the bubble wrap.
Todd Tomczyk, the head trainer, talks to Clint Hurdle.
Clint's asking, you got any bubble wrap back there?
A couple of strikes on Adam Duvall. Tied for 7th in the National League with 8 homers. 2 for 4 in last night's game. He has 3 hits in the series. Nova 3-3 in 6 career starts versus the Reds. Lost 1 start this year to Cincy at PNC Park. 3 earned in 6 innings. 2-2. He had a 9-pitch first inning, retiring the Reds in order. Wave and a miss. Breaking ball on the strikeout. First K for Nova, 1 down in the bottom of the 2nd. Watching Todd Tomczyk, the head trainer, he's been busy, especially recently. He was out throwing in the rain with David Freese out in left field today. David Freese, our Allegheny Health Network injury update. He's hitting and jogging. That right hamstring strain has him on the DL. It's a big bat the Pirates have out of their lineup. No timetable yet in terms of when he might return. We do expect that Adam Frazier any day now will be sent to a rehab in the minor leagues. Get some at bats. I asked Clint Hurdle the other day about, with the 10-day disabled list, might the rehab be a thing of the past? Might that be a bit obsolete for these players if they spend just 10 days on the DL and have to go down the minors and get ABs? And Pirates manager thought that would be up to the individual players, and maybe a guy like Frazier, who doesn't have a lot of big league time, might need some minor league at bats. A guy like Freese, perhaps when he's ready, may not need as much time, if any, getting some minor league at bats.
Yeah, a lot of times too, not all the time, but a lot of times the rehab assignment is used to kind of buy some time to
figure out the roster.
Yeah, figure out what you're going to do, which way you want to go with the roster. Things you can delay it a little bit by, hey, so and so is going to go down and get 10 ABs first.
Eugenio Suarez, 10th in the league in hitting. Homered last night. Been crushing the Pirates.
As you know, Greg, I was on the DL a few times, but I only had to go to a rehab once, and that was just honestly, Jim Leyland told me.
Backhand play by Harrison. Gets Suarez.
In fact, I was due to come off the DL like 4 days or something before September 1st. And so he just called me in the office and said, you're going to go down and make a rehab start. No, you don't need it, but you're going to have a rehab start so we can wait till the roster expands to activate you, so we don't have to send anybody out.
So it's one of those situations like you were just saying that.
Yeah, and that happens sometimes. So it's not always when you see somebody go to a rehab assignment, you know, if it's a pitcher to make maybe one start or to get a couple of at bats for a hitter, there might be something else going on that's affecting the situation besides just his health.
Schebler takes ball 1.
But I'm with you with the 10-day minimum now. You probably will see a lot less of that.
Well, the liner to Harrison, who hadn't played perfectly. So far, 6 up, 6 down for Ivan Nova. Here in Cincinnati, T-Mobile brings us this unlimited baseball break. Ryan Zimmerman of the Nationals continues his hot streak, hitting .427, 11 homers, 30 ribbies. He's on a 10-game hitting streak currently, .488 average during this stretch. And the Nationals are leading the Diamondbacks in D.C. in the bottom of the third, 1-0. Zimmerman has drawn a walk, and he's at the plate now. Meanwhile, last night the Dodgers inducted legendary announcer Vin Scully into the Ring of Honor at Dodger Stadium. So those two items in Major League Baseball. Another pop-up for a struggling John Jaso. It's to the shortstop, Peraza. He popped out to the third baseman, Suarez, in a similar fashion in the first inning. Jaso just 2 for 14 against Reds pitching this season. Andrew McCutchen hitting over .300 against Cincinnati on the year. Singled up the middle in the first.
Yeah, thinking about Jaso's slow start, he hit pretty well in spring training. I know we tell each other this all the time. The next spring, remind us that what we're watching doesn't matter.
Yep.
Good or bad. It just doesn't have the same. Every year there's examples of why.
And every year we, along with everybody else, gets caught up in it.
Yeah, well,
Can't help it.
This guy's swinging the bat well in spring training. It doesn't matter. You don't know what's going to happen once the bell rings. And sometimes guys that are hot in spring, they're able to continue it. And
yeah.
You think, well, we saw it in spring training.
I told you.
And then there's the guys that are, older veterans, so their job is secure. So even though they got 2 hits the whole month of March, they still are out there. And then their player of the week, first week of the season, when the bell rings. It's such a crazy game to predict on a short term. What anybody's going to do.
Andrew McCutchen had a better month of April this year than he did last year. What does May have to offer for the one-time MVP of the National League, who predicted a monster season for himself?
He's out of the gate, okay, especially in the home run department. 5 long balls. Oh. He usually heats up in the middle of the summer when the weather is really warm. You can see him hitting 30 home runs this year with 5 already to this point.
Yeah,
because he'll have some hot streaks where he's going to hit a bunch in a row.
May has historically been his best average month. Tim Adelman has struck out 4 Pirates. He walked Polanco in the first.
Polanco is, so far, I think he's the guy that's being the most patient. He's gotten a couple of decent balls to hit on for first strikes in these 2 at bats. Said no to both of them. He wants to wait a little bit. Paid off. Got the base on balls in the first at bat.
Look at the defensive alignment against Polanco, who was 4 for 5 against Adelman last year in the 2 starts, and one of Polanco's homers came against Adelman as he chases.
I'm amazed that Schepler, how shallow he plays Polanco in right field, Polanco's pull side. He's very patient with that one. Just a lot of room back there.
And lifted to Schebler.
And now he's going to have to come in.
1, 2, 3. The Pirates are retired in the
He knew what he was doing.
top of the 3rd inning. Yep. Tomorrow night, 3-game series against the Brewers. Only 3 games of the homestand, and will conclude on Sunday, a Kids Day. Before the 1:35 game, kids can enjoy the family fun zone out on Federal Street. And when kids enter the ballpark, kids 14 and under, that is, they'll be given a Pirates jump rope. Compliments of Allegheny Health Network. Go to pirates.com/kidsdays for tickets. And don't forget, youngsters run the bases after that game on Sunday. Arismendi Alcantara leads off for the Reds here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Getting his first start. The truck and Bob just get a kick out of that like nobody's business. I'm sorry, I'm going to say it the way I should. Arismendi Alcantara. That's better for everybody. Just under the glove of the first baseman, Josh Bell. Alcantara has the single.
That's right. Alcantara's aboard.
Yep. Gets the hit off Ivan Nova. Benavides is the first base coach. Freddie Benavides. I'm doing it the way That way, you know, people won't think that's so funny.
Benavides, everybody knows.
Benavides.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not Benavides, huh?
Well, okay, maybe it is.
Oh.
Benavides.
What difference does it make?
Right. You're right.
It's just,
you're right.
Really, what difference does it make?
No, you're right.
Barnhart, I think. You should just see, every time I say the guy's name, you should see Bob go to the talkback, talk to the truck. The truck's laughing. Pete Toma. I think it's hilarious. It really is funny to try and pronounce somebody's name properly. I think it's hysterical.
It's the cough button. It's not. That's what it is. It's cough button. It's not talk button.
I saw the talk back. You don't even know which is which, obviously. One ball, one strike on Barnhart. It was 1 for 3 on Monday. Switch hitter batting left-handed against Nova. Nova's first start since receiving the Pitcher of the Month award in April. Normally a very fast worker, as is that man, Jameson Taillon, who had his worst start of the year. Jameson Taillon, 5 innings, 6 runs last night, gave up 2 3-run homers.
Sure was odd seeing him have those numbers. Not a lot different. He made a few bad pitches as far as pitch location, but even some of the balls that were hit that hurt him, they weren't necessarily in bad spots. Just one of those nights. Everybody has them occasionally.
Runner goes. And fouled out of play.
I think we always have a tendency to look at an outing like that and just say, oh, what went wrong? What did he do? Why wasn't he the same? Every now and then, it really is the other team. They did a good job with the bats. You know, they turned on some pitches. They were able to go out and hit some pitches away. They got some little flares off the end of the bat to fall in. Alcantara, I think, had a couple of those.
Who? Chopper and Jay Hay going to make the play at first. Retires Barnhart. Alcantara goes to second.
So Jay Hay wiping some of the water off his hand after he made that throw. Grass maybe a little wet.
Barnhart was looking to get time, didn't get it from Mark Ripperger. Wow, not happy at all about it.
Amazing what might set somebody off. Asking, put your hand up in timeout and not getting it. Must have been a bug in his eye or something, huh?
Maybe. See what we get here. There it is. Nope. Doesn't get it. Nova will cause some hitters to ask for time to slow down the pace. Again, one of the fastest workers.
Instead, they should pick up their pace.
Yeah. He takes care of Tim Adelman. Second strikeout, 2 down. Bring up Billy Hamilton. Billy Hamilton with the ball, the warning track at center field in the first inning, the first pitch. He ended a 319 at-bat drought without a home run. He had homered June 28th last year against John Lester. And of course, he's not a home run hitter, admittedly.
He only hit 211. He's been much of a hitter of any type first month of the year. But he hits us. But for his Pirate numbers, he might be hitting below 200.
What is the secret? What is it that other teams do against Billy Hamilton? Pirates can't seem to figure out. 0-2 count.
Hamilton's probably trying to figure out what it is that he does right against the Pirates and not against anybody else.
Strike 3 called.
Yeah, there you go. That was right there, right down the middle.
For the Toyota all-wheel drive RAV4 4th inning. Toyota, what drives you?
1-0. Pirates lead. Go to the 4th inning. In Cincinnati, Tucker Barnhart wasn't happy with home plate umpire Mark Ripberger for not getting timeout called. Brian Price went out, presumably to ask him why not.
You know, sometimes I guess a hitter can have a legitimate complaint if it's a situation where the guy's throwing for the windup. But that wasn't the case there. So the pitcher's going to have to nod yes, come up, get into the set position, come to a complete stop in the set position before he comes home. You can't quick pitch anybody. There's too much advance notice that, hey, I'm getting ready to pitch. So I think in that scenario, an umpire is going to be a lot less likely to call timeout unless the hitter or the pitcher has been sitting out there in its stretch position for 1,004, 1,005. Then they do it. But now some guys will quick pitch out of a windup and maybe catch the hitter off guard. Not even nod yes or anything. Somebody with one of those real abbreviated windups to where you look in, you see the sign fastball, and then you just go and throw it. But when you're you're nodding yes, you're coming up, you're getting your setting, you can't even come home. It's going to be a balk if you don't come to a complete stop. There's plenty of time for the hitter to see, okay, he's getting ready to pitch. Get my hands where I want them. And if you go strictly by the rule book, the umpire's not even supposed to give him time, period, once that pitcher is ready to pitch. They always do, and they always have.
And I guess some umpires are more apt to give a guy.
They interpret it a little differently. Some umpires are closer to You know, what the rule book is basically, hey, the pitcher's ready to pitch. No, you're not getting time. And we've seen some umpires, Greg, that it's like the ball is about to come out of the pitcher's hand and they call timeout. You never know.
And kind of like the first base umpires, it's all a matter of interpretation.
Yeah, check swings. They all kind of have their own idea of what's a swing, what's not. You know, I'm sure that they're, from when they first start umpiring, you know, they're told, okay, this is what you have to look for. But still, it's a interpretation of that they're looking in.
Adelman gets his 5th strikeout. Francisco Cervelli, who had led off the second with a base hit up the middle and scores the game's only run, strikes out here in the 4th. Adelman gave up a hit and a walk in the 1st. He got Hansen to fly out in the 2nd and a ground ball. And Ivan Nova-like 1, 2, 3, 4th inning and a 7-pitch top of the 4th for Adelman. Full shots from the Allegheny Health Network Super Mo. Final game of this 4-game series, last game of the 7-game trip. 1-0 Pirates, and Ivan Nova going through the lineup a second time. Jose Peraza, second man in the order, was retired on a nice play by Alan Hansen on a ground ball. Looked like it was headed up the middle in the 1st. First pitch, strike. It's the other thing we say constantly with Nova. Once again.
That's why he gets a lot of the first pitch outs, because he's always in the strike zone early in the count.
Two complete games this season. The last time out in Miami and in St. Louis on the 17th. He went the distance, a tough luck loss.
You know, when Nova's throwing that first pitch strike all the time, it does put the hitters in kind of a little bit of a bind. Because you'll see if they go up there and they start swinging at that first pitch and putting it in play, you get a lot of those 1-pitch outs. And you know, hitting coaches, everybody, they hate that. You know, you want to make the guy work out there. You don't want to let him have easy innings and have at bats where you're not throwing hardly any pitches. But if you go up there and just try to take off of him, well, how's it feel to hit 0-1 and 0-2 all day long? So that's the other side of that. If you want to be patient, well, you go ahead and be patient, but now you're going to be behind in the count. So it really makes him kind of tough to make those decisions.
Don Long is the Reds hitting coach, former Pirates hitting coach. And to right. And a base hit to start this bottom of the fourth. Jose Peraza with his 6th hit in the series. And that battle again now with Nova and Votto. Votto bounced out to Hansen in a 1-2-3 first inning. Opponents hitting 198 against Nova this season. Only Dan Straley of the Marlins, whom the Pirates saw on this road trip, has a better batting average against. Opponents batting only 183 against Straley, 198 against Nova.
Which is amazing to have that kind of opposition batting average and not walk anybody. Oftentimes you'll see somebody with that doesn't give up very many hits because they're walking 4 or 5 guys every 9 innings. And the guys that throw a ton of strikes have a higher opposition batting average. So that opposition on base percentage is always kind of comes together. But again, Nova's numbers, you don't see them, some of the things he does, and that's one of them. Doesn't walk anybody, and at the same time a very low opposition batting average. Crazy good year so far. And that's why he's pitcher of the month for the National League.
Second pitcher of the month award in his career. 4 years ago he won pitcher of the month as a Yankee for August of 2013. Went 4-0 with a 2.08 ERA in 6 starts. Runner takes off and it's into the gap. And this is going to tie the game as McCutchen went into a slide on the double by Votto. It is 1-1.
McCutchen able to, we're talking about the ball that Cervelli scored on that Hamilton couldn't cut it off, and Cervelli was able to score. This one here, Kutch is able to cut it off, but a little slippery out there, and it took him a while to regain his feet. So there was no chance then. At that point, just get the ball into second base. Ball was tailing away, and Votto, what a solid hitter he's been over the years. He just goes right with it.
23rd RBI of the season for Votto.
Looked like Kutch thought he could do like a little pop-up slide, and because of the wet grass, he just kept sliding. Like he was on one of those slip and slides and you see the kids get on in the backyard. Can't stop.
No one out, 1-1. And another base hit, and again into left center. This is going to give the Reds the lead. And into second base. And out there as Hansen kept the glove on Duvall. And the second base umpire, Vic Carapazza, eyeing that very closely. It is 2-1 Cincinnati.
He really kept the tag down there a long time. There was a little bit of a wait for the call, and I'm thinking he must have came off the bag a little bit, and that's why the hesitation for the out call, waiting to see if he would come off the bag. Yeah, he beat it originally. His foot was in there, but
watch Hansen. I think he went right toward the arm now. Expecting. Watch.
He's coming off. He's coming off. Right there, he came off. He tagged himself as he brought his arm down. He brought his arm down right on the glove and tagged himself. But The whole time his foot was on the bag until he brought the arm down. And when he did that, he made himself out.
Yeah, nice job by Hansen there.
Great job by Hansen. He stayed with it and left it there and thinking, okay, I might not get him this first time, but let's see if he comes off the bag. And that's what he did.
Hansen,
excellent tag.
Not giving up on that.
Baez-like tag.
Yeah. Watch Hansen.
The foot's on the bag, so he's going to be safe. And now Hansen's going to stay with it, stay with it. Here the foot comes off, and the forearm comes right down on the glove. And you can see Hansen immediately trying to point it out. Like, did you see that? Did you see that? I got him. And yep.
Good work by the
Carapazza saw it.
Nick Carapazza, the umpire.
It stayed right there. Excellent.
Good work by everybody. Camera operator. Strikeout number 4 for Nova.
Pretty good overhand hook. The velocity on that curveball too. Big break like that straight down, and it's up in the 80s, 82 miles an hour. '82-ish, I guess.
Ball down the line and right. And that's at least a double for Schebler, and he'll hold it second.
Yeah, that adds a little importance to that nice tag. Hook down into the line.
Ray Searage going to make a rare trip to the mound with Nova on the hill. A single, 2 doubles.
Yeah, he doesn't come out and talk to Nova very often.
And another single by Duvall, tried to stretch it into a double and was thrown out. So 4 hits in the inning, which is really rare for Nova, and that has ratcheted up that pitch count now to 50.
Who's up next for the Reds?
You tell me.
I have no idea who that is. Number 10?
That's Alcantara, isn't it?
Yeah, that's him.
So Ivan has thrown 50
Look at
pitches.
Look at that.
That
40 strikes.
Yeah, 40 strikes.
He is a
Keeps throwing
machine.
strikes regardless of what is happening around him. We'll see if that continues.
But here's the thing too, that he has to remember, and I'm sure he will. What's made him so successful is doing this. So why get away from it? Even if you're giving up a couple of hits and a run, I mean, why get away from it? You're on a great roll from last year to this year, making this work, just being super aggressive and throwing strikes and going at the hitter. So, in any one particular game one day, maybe it's not working great, but don't stop. Keep it going. Couldn't quite get that one to stick in the glove. Knock the glove off.
Hurt a little bit. Francisco Cervelli just back with the foot injury, and he's also had, of course, hand issues. Clint Hurdle was asked about what they might do. Right now they're carrying a third catcher because Cervelli has not been able to play. There's a ground ball base hit into left. Schebler going to be held at third. Another hit. Now Alcantara is 2 for 2. And that is now 5 hits in the inning off of Nova. He retired the first 6, gave up the leadoff single in the third, then retired the next 3, and now he himself, he's gotten 1 out in this 4th inning. The strikeout of Suarez. Tucker Barnhart.
Collision. Knocks his mask off. Barnhart saying he's sorry, that was my fault. Like, I almost want to laugh when they say it's my fault. Like, well, yeah, it wasn't mine. I'm the one that got hit in the head.
One catcher to another. And he's going to reach the seats. Barnhart was not happy with the fact that home plate umpire didn't give him a timeout in the third. He grounded out to Josh Harrison in the hole. 0-2. The Reds have taken the lead. 2 runs, 5 hits in this 4th inning. Runner takes off from first. Did he go? No, says the third base umpire Tom Hallion. And it's the first stolen base for Alcantara this season. Tom Hallion on the appeal said no swing. Grounded to Hansen. So for Ivan Nova, that bottom of the 4th was an eternity. 2-1 though. Reds up by 1. The 5th inning at Great American Ballpark. The Pirates leading 1-0 in the second, but the Reds pick up 2 in the 4th. We're going to check out our This Day in Pirates History, brought to you by Day Automotive. May 4th, 1992. Pirates tie a franchise record. They score 11 runs in the 6th inning. Don Slaught, Jose Leaned, Cecil Espy, all with a pair of hits in the inning. Andy Van Slyke had a 4-hit game. Jeff King added 3 of his own. 12-5. The Pirates come back and beat the Reds at Three River Stadium, and Tom Prince appeared in the game as a pinch hitter for Pirates starter Zane Smith. Jeff Branson was in the game as a pinch hitter for the Reds in the 9th inning. On this day in Pirates history, Joey Votto picking up the RBI double that tied the game, scoring Jose Peraza, and the Adam Duvall base hit scored Votto to The ball was thrown out, trying to stretch it into a double. So down 1, and Gifton Gope doubled in the second to bring home Francisco Cervelli with the Pirates run.
Sure is an awesome story, and I guess what makes it even more special than it is, you know, the first player from the continent of Africa, it's how he had to persevere, and it's spent so much time in the minor leagues trying to get his offensive game up to where he could come up here and get a shot at it. And I think that it had been so long, a lot of people probably were thinking, well, it's not ever going to happen. And then something has started to click with him, and well, you just pull for him and hope he can keep it going.
Great story today on ESPN.com if you get a chance to read it about Gifton Gope from Kevin McCallum. Talking about that club team, Randburg, Africa, the Randburg Mets. They were all gathered around a TV set to watch Gifton Gope. And the irony at 2:49 a.m. in South Africa that it was Freedom Day, the public holiday that is held to celebrate when black South Africans were allowed to vote for the first time, that the Mets watched this 27-year-old former clubmate and friend make his debut in the major leagues for the Pirates last week. Ivan Nova struck out his first time up.
Such a good player in all the other aspects of the game, except for the hitting part.
Well,
Votto getting fancy.
Yep, Votto saved.
Goes with the deflection.
Yeah. 3-4-3. You don't see Votto smile like that very often on the field.
No, he's not a smiler.
No. 3-4-1 put out.
Saved him an error. You know, it's a good job by Adelman too. He could have easily stopped, hesitated, and, you know, running over there as soon as he saw the ball go after the glove, but he kept going, and it's paid off with the out. There's the smile. It didn't stay long.
He's made a couple of tremendous plays, robbing Pirates of extra bases in this series. Harrison pushing that bunt toward Votto, says, you get over there to Adelman, and wow, a fancy play by Votto, almost worked. Base hit for Harrison.
Yeah, that's the kind of you know, stuff that Votto every now and then pulls off.
He was directing traffic as he was heading toward the bunt. He was telling Adelman, get there to the bag.
Well, Adelman really has no choice. There's nothing else for him to do that. You run as hard as you can in a straight line for the back. He almost messed up. In fact, it might have caught him. It might have actually cost him.
You could see him veer off when Votto said
you
go.
can't do that.
Yeah.
In spring training, and now this is after it's happened. It's already happened. He already messed up. You can't veer to the left as you're coming off the mound. It's got to be a straight line to the bag. Once you veer off, you mess things up. If he runs a straight line, he might beat Jay Hay there because it was awful close. Now, if you can run in a straight line and you can pick up the ball as you're doing it, good. Just run it, take it to the bag. And then the first baseman doesn't have to worry about what are you going to do. He knows before the play even happens what you're going to do. You're going to run a straight line, and you're going to pick up the ball if you can. Here it is. Watch him veer. See him veer. Now he has to turn back to his right. That cost him maybe a half a step, and that's about what Jay Hay beat him by. Straight line.
Harrison wants to get into scoring position now after the bunt hit.
That takes away all the confusion too on that play, because the first baseman, he doesn't ever have to guess what you're doing. He knows what you're doing, and so then he knows what he has to do. But I think Votto saw him veering, and that's why Votto said, no, go to the bag.
Another look. There's.
And it's an excellent play by Votto. No smile though.
No. There goes Harrison. And then
throwing the brakes. I don't know why.
It didn't make any sense. 2 outs.
I was thinking when I saw him break, I thought, well, good jump. But then he took about 4 steps and stopped. What happened?
Felt like maybe he stumbled a bit.
Missed a shift. Went from first to second. Missed gear.
Three and one now on Jaso. Jaso just really
see the look on his face?
Confused.
He is not early when he was struggling those first couple of weeks. You could see how it wasn't bothering him. Okay, everything is fine. But now the body language, it's getting to him a little bit.
Shoulders shrugging.
He's one of those guys. Seems to be pretty laid back most of the time, and he's going to take the good with the bad in stride, not get too high or too low. But right now he's scuffling, and it's really just today is the first time I've seen some reaction at the plate.
Gets this one in the air to left center. Hamilton and the left fielder Duvall. It's Duvall for the final out. So halfway through it, the Reds up by a run.
Brought to you by the Chevy Malibu and your Western PA Chevy dealers. And by Day Automotive. We're going to make your day. Let's go Bucks!
UPMC scoreboard 2-1. Go to the bottom of the 5th. The Reds in front. Joey Votto.
Almost a smile there. Somebody said something funny. Kind of like Rock, John Wayner. You know, you gotta come up with something really good to get him that.
Oh, there'll be no fake laugh from John.
He doesn't give you a courtesy laugh.
Nope. Toughest audience there is. A couple of strikes on the pitcher. Right now, just Joe trying to look. Joe's cracking that's a great joke.
Yeah,
and that's the reaction he gets from John. Look at this.
Yeah, just told him a joke.
That's a great example of what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I know what the joke was. Joe came in and told you and me, and it was hilarious.
I'm surprised that John's sitting there. Usually I go for walks and stuff. I don't.
See Joe, that's a courtesy laugh from Joe.
I'm not giving you a courtesy laugh on that, but you're right. Joe will give you a courtesy laugh.
Not that guy, huh?
No, not Hinwainer. You're going to have to come up with something real good.
Very serious.
Wouldn't be good in a studio audience, I don't think. Not good candidates for the studio audience.
5th strikeout for Nova. 1 away. MLB.com at bat is your #1 mobile app for live Pirates baseball. Stay connected with a fully customizable experience. Get Pirates home screen icons and app features, as well as game day, live game video highlights, radio broadcasts, StatCast, news, and more. Download MLB.com at bat today. Oh, that's no laughing matter there.
No.
Somebody else get a baseball?
Yep. It's there. Need 2 of them. That's the one bad thing about foul balls. There's 2 kids. What are you going to do?
Great shot of how meaningful a foul ball is.
Yep. Shows you the things that are actually important in life.
That's right.
There.
Yep.
That caused the problem right there.
Oh, yay. Everybody's happy except brother. Yay.
High fives.
Billy Hamilton, a base hit to left. 1 out single.
So now we know it's Jay Hayes' fault. Yeah, just keeping it out of, it's keeping that ball out of reach. You see that?
Oh yeah.
Just like teasing him with it.
He's keeping a chair between him and his brother.
Yeah.
An empty chair. He's not going to sit in that. Well, now recreating it, make it even worse.
Looking at it. Yeah, that's how
more
I caught
miserable.
It. That's how I caught it.
Yeah. Oh, he did a little dance.
Man, he's rubbing it in.
Yeah, he is.
Is that how your brothers were?
Yes, you betcha. Toward the right center gap. Could be trouble. Jaso will get there.
Nice play.
2 outs. That ball left the bat. Looked like that had a good shot of landing on the track, but Jaso stayed with it.
Nova with a little hand clap there after that.
Seems like right away get that ball in there too.
Yeah, on the job training.
You talk about that laid back attitude. Don't let that mislead you. He cares as much as anybody.
Absolutely. Yeah, laid back is this what he needs to do to play well. But no, he's out there to beat the other team big time. He comes to play. He loves to play. He loves to play the game. That's why he's was anxious last year that you want to play first. Okay, I'll play first. I'll do whatever it takes. You want me to play the outfield this year? I'll learn to play the outfield. Whatever they're asking of him, he's willing to do. There's no complaint, and he works at it too. It's not just okay, I'll go play that. You'll find me in the cage the rest of the time. He goes out and works hard at the defense, trying to improve it. He made great strides at first base last year.
Well, to the point where he became this season a defensive replacement at first base.
And from being replaced to
It's 0-2 on Votto. There goes Hamilton. And no chance. Dropped by Cervelli. Number 16 on the year for Billy Hamilton, and is a milestone steal for this Cincinnati Reds center fielder. His stolen base number 200 for his career. He is now in 7th place all by himself, and the scoreboard recognizing Billy Hamilton's achievement. And now trails Vada Pinson on the Reds' all-time stolen base list. Joe Morgan tops everybody. He stole 406.
And I would say it's a little more difficult for Hamilton. Much more effort.
This era?
Much more effort is put into stopping the running game now than back then. A lot slower times by pitchers to the plate. And also Hamilton doesn't get on base like those other guys did. Doesn't have the opportunities. See, at least to this part of his career, I mean, he's not Joe Morgan at the plate. Or Vada Pinson for that matter.
The count has gone full on Joey Votto. When Nova gets a full count, it's like the rest of baseball needs to be alerted. Like there's a no-hitter in progress through 5 innings. It's 3-2, and there goes Hamilton, and it's drilled to right, and that gets down. Votto makes it a 3-1 game with his 2nd double of the afternoon.
Well, that was a bad pitch. Nova, we were talking earlier about, you know, even on 3-2 counts, the rare 3-2 count, even trying to hit spots. Now he may have been trying to hit a spot, but this is pretty much ends up down the middle, right down the middle. And Votto, an outstanding hitter. He's going to get the head of the bat to that one, probably good to 80% of the time. Hamilton on the move.
Now 3 runs for the Reds on 8 hits. Duvall with base hit that scored Votto in the 4th. It made it 2-1, and now Votto 7 doubles on the season with 24 RBIs. Reds scored 4 runs, 3 earned, and 6 innings of work against Nova on the 12th of April at PNC Park. He had held Votto hitless in 3 at-bats in that game. Duvall picked up RBI number 21. That base hit in the 4th. He had 103 ribbies last year, this 28-year-old Louisville, Kentucky native. And that's line to left. Polanco over. Cannot make the play. And Votto will score. And because Polanco overruns the ball, turns it into a triple for Duvall.
Yeah, that ball kept hooking off the bat. Polanco thinking he could maybe make that catch. He didn't pull up. He committed to going after it, and it was a long time after this that he was able to finally come to a stop. I mean, look how he's out of the shot. That's how far he overran that ball once it got by, and because of that, it was an easy triple.
Reds now lead 4-1. Triple for Duvall.
Kind of like yesterday's ball game a little bit. We were really shocked when we saw Taillon give up 6 runs, and yet used to seeing him go out and dominate. Obviously the same thing here with Nova, even though it's only 4 runs, but it is 9 hits. That opposition batting average is not going to stay as low after this one.
Taillon talking with Tyler Glass now. Johnny Barbado up in the bullpen here in the 5th. Eugenio Suarez came in 10th in the league in hitting, 6th in the league in slugging, and 8th in on-base percentage. A little fister and a nice pickup by Ngope. He made that play look easy. 2 more runs in and a 4-1 lead for the Reds. Head to the 6th. Andrew McCutchen will lead off for the Pirates. And Yellowwood is bringing the lumber. Andrew McCutchen last night off lefty Cody Reed hit his 5th home run of the season. That made it a 7-2 ball game. Andrew McCutchen has reached base safely with his base hit in the 1st inning. 34 consecutive games here at Great American Ballpark. During the stretch, he's hit 10 home runs in this yard. He's hit 19 in his career in Cincinnati. Pirates need base runners. They need some extra base hits like the Reds have been getting.
A 3-run deficit in this ballpark is very scary. Get that back pretty easy.
One out. Ron Nova has given up the 4 runs. Reds collecting 9 hits. Well, Tim Adelman, his last start against the St. Louis Cardinals in St. Louis, he went 5 1/3, gave up 8 hits, 6 runs, 5 of them earned. pitched well against the Cubs here at Great American Ballpark on the 21st of last month. 6 innings of 4-hit ball with 7 strikeouts. Polanco finds himself in the hole 0-2.
Need to get this bat going. Of the things that could really help get some consistency going with this offense. What do you think, Greg? Polanco would be a huge key to that. Got to be. They got 4 RBIs right now.
Cleanup hitter. Clint Hurdle was asked about that before the game and whether he was going to change that anytime soon. He said, I'm keeping him in there. And Polanco lines out to left. Polanco has 3 hits in 19 at bats on this road trip. 2 down.
Is a bigger piece of this offense than ever, with a couple of bats missing now. Well, he's in a slump. That really kind of hurts things. And it is right in the middle of the lineup. One of the things that bring about a slump and helping somebody get out of it, it's about getting that player's confidence back along with the mechanical stuff. Sometimes it's almost 90% up in their heads. And so if you do move somebody out of a spot in the lineup that, that is a run producer spot like cleanup, I mean, that's probably the spot. What's that telling them? Well, man, we don't have any faith in you. You can't hit right now. We're going to bat you 7th. So it's kind of a balancing act. When do you make that move and get somebody out of that spot that's slumping? Not really a cut and dry answer to that, I don't think.
Josh Bell, meanwhile, has 2 hits and 25 at bats against the Reds this season. And there we go, the other way. He heads to second base, and he has a double. 2 out, 2 base hit for Bell.
Got in on him with a breaking ball here. He would get his hands right up by his stomach. He brings his hands way close to his body to try and get the head of the bat to the ball. Kind of a funny looking swing, but it was effective. Avoid getting jammed. And because it's not a fastball, because it's a slow breaking ball, gives him time to kind of make that adjustment with a swing. Smart hitting. Still probably like that.
Cervelli has scored the Pirates' lone run. Adelman gave up 13 home runs and 70 innings of work at the big league level last year in his 13 starts. He's given up 5 in his first 3 outings this season. Out of Georgetown, the last major league player attended Georgetown University, Sean Maloney, pitched in 14 big league games with the Brewers and Dodgers in 1997 and 1998 combined. Trying to be polite about what he's telling Mark Ripperger.
Cervelli, I think does a good job of that. Not getting on the bad side of an umpire, but able to make his thoughts known. Scored the only bucko run today. Scampered home all the way from first base on that sore foot. Chance to knock in a run here. See Bell leading off second. Just away, away, away. That's been the story with Adelman today. About 90% of his pitches, and maybe they all haven't been away, but that's where he's tried to throw them. That is his main game plan, it looks like. Just if you come in, just do it to set up the pitch away, just to kind of try and keep everybody honest, and keep it in their mind that I will throw one inside occasionally. He wanted to come in there that time, but he really didn't get it done. That one was pretty much right down the middle.
Another baseball for a Pirates fan.
Yeah. I think it's from the same group of kids. They're looking back over their shoulder at Robbie down there. I saw Robbie's down there.
Line toward left field, and this will get down. This will make it a 4-2 ball game. And Cervelli can coast into second as he drives in Bell. Back-to-back doubles. Pirates within 2.
Second time in a row there he's left something in the middle of the plate. This one really elevated. And Cervelli made him pay this time. Fastball, trying to go outside with it. Just missed his spot by quite a bit.
Cervelli matches Gregory Polanco with the team lead now in doubles. This is his 7th. RBI number 12.
Nice easy double. As you were saying, Greg, he's just able to take the pressure off the foot. Just jog in the second base on that one.
Mac Jenkins, the pitching coach, will jog back to the dugout. Well, the bullpen, Michael Lorenzen, starts to crank it up. Alan Hansen is 0 for 2. He's flied to left, bounced to second. Five years ago, Alan Hansen drove in 62 runs. It was in 2012, playing in low A ball, South Atlantic League for the West Virginia Power. One RBI with the Pirates this season. 0 for 2 in this ball game. Driving in runs with men in scoring position, imperative for this Pirates team. And he pops him up. Billy Hamilton for the final out. Through 5.5. Pirates trail by 2.
away from the field in the stands as Big Brother got a baseball tossed to him by Josh Harrison. And to make things worse, there's actually a third brother here, and Eugenio Suarez had a foul ball get on the third base side and flipped the baseball to a Pirate fan. That actually went to the oldest brother, and now I'm sitting here with the family. They are the Feldman family, and they are here. They're from Gibsonia here in Cincinnati on their way to a baseball tournament actually in Indiana. So we got the mom, Beth Ann, we got the sons, this is Brett. We had a Point Park tweet saying, hey, get word to the Pirates dugout to get a baseball up here. So this is Brett, and this is Jonathan right here, the youngest brother. And of course, we here at Root Sports want to make everyone happy, Greg and Bob. You guys know this quite well. So we have a baseball for you right here. So you're not going to be upset at Big Brother anymore, are you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, what did you say when he caught that ball from Josh Harrison?
Nothing.
Nothing. What did Mom say to you to make you feel better?
Nothing.
No, come on, Mom. You had to say something, didn't you, to comfort your youngest son?
Well, I actually told him he needed to be thankful that his older brother got a ball.
There it is. Now, did you, like, what happened when you get the ball and your little brother's upset? What are you thinking, Brett?
I'll share it.
That's very good. And Big Brother over here actually got one earlier and was going to give it to little brother, but we brought one over here, Greg and Bob, so that's what we do. So maybe we'll take, all right, so we'll give one to the third brother. Which one do you want to give to your oldest brother? There you go. We have one happy Feldman family right here, Greg and Bob. All three brothers got baseballs. By the way, the 12 and under, 9 and under baseball teams on their way out to Indiana to play in a baseball tournament. We wish them the best of luck. Good luck, Brett.
Thank you.
How about that, guys?
Good job, Robbie. And
Big,
it's great to
happy
see
family
yeah,
going
good to
out
see
to
Jonathan with that big smile.
Jonathan,
nice contrast.
How big is your smile right now?
Happy, big.
Happy and big smile. There you go, guys.
After Schebler flies to the warning track and right.
You know, Greg, when that was all happening before, I'm thinking, I will bet anything that Robbie's going to get a baseball and go down there, and sure enough, he did. Good job, Robbie.
And he didn't have to be prodded or coaxed. We
No,
didn't have
absolutely.
To suggest that he do
No,
it.
that's
It
what.
was
Yeah,
on his
we
own.
didn't. Yeah, we didn't bring that up. It just, I looked down there a while ago and I saw him sitting with the family, and I go, yep, no surprise. And I guarantee you, he took a baseball with him.
We are here to make dreams come true. That's part of our job, not just to bring Pirates baseball, but to make families happy. Especially we got all these guys coming out, guys and girls coming out from Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Bucko gear, that's cool.
All in Bucko gear. And the kids, they're all scattered all around, and they're actually in a perfect position here. They're waiting right by third base, so every foul ball that comes this way, you're going to see how quick these guys can get from here to the first row to yell to Billy Hatcher and Joey Cora to get a baseball.
I guess they're not related to Scott Feldman, whose father went to Duquesne and grew up in Uniontown,
Are you by chance related to Scott Feldman, who went to Duquesne?
The pitcher who started on
we're not
Tuesday?
related.
That would have been ironic.
Yeah, that would have been crazy. But they're scattered all over. And what a great road trip, though. Come watch the Pirates. And then you get on your way to Indiana, stop and watch Pirates baseball. Look how happy they are with the double play.
A smooth-looking play there. Looked like the brothers Feldman.
Off they go.
Hanson and Gope and Bell. They're flying. with his catcher, Francisco Cervelli. Coming up, the Pirates and the Brewers 3-game series at PNC Park starts Friday night with the fireworks night after the 7:05 game, and then Saturday 7:05 game. The first 20,000 fans will get a Pirates t-shirt thanks to Mrs. T's Pierogies, Buccos, and Brew Crew. 7:05. Go to pirates.com/free shirt Saturday for your tickets. The Bucks and the Brewers.
Getting in position for another ball. They're flying all around.
Yeah, not missing anything. By the way, Garrett Cole scheduled to start Saturday night. Scooter Gennett takes over at second. Michael Lorenzen now on the mound.
Lorenzen's numbers on the year, 13 games now for him. Thinking for a moment that he might drop that one down. Get on base, the tying run to the plate. Able to nail that outside half of the plate twice in a row. Down and away 3 times, came up and in. This is just kind of a classic way to pitch. Down and away, up and in.
Lorenzen strikes out at Gope to start the 7th. Had he reached, Clint Hurdle would have gone to Jose Osuna. But Osuna goes back down the dugout steps, and Phil Goslin now will pinch hit for Ivan Nova.
Osuna a little bit better power. He's looking for maybe that long ball as the tying run. Lorenzen has given up 1 home run so far in the year.
One count on the pinch hitter Goslin, Jose Osuna. And to the shortstop, Peraza. Lorenzen pitched on Monday night, 2 scoreless innings and got the win. Struck out 3 of the 7 batters he faced, did not allow a hit. He actually hit Jose Osuna in the 9th inning.
The back end of this Red bullpen can be pretty challenging.
Yeah. Weak pop up to right.
A quick inning, 9 pitches, maybe 8.
Pittsburgh Pirates and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Nissan Road ahead tomorrow night at PNC Park begins that 3-game homestand. Chad Kuhl against Jimmy Nelson. Garrett Cole opposes Matt Garza on Saturday night, and Sunday afternoon it's Tyler Glasnow against Zach Davies. Brewers are scheduled to play the Cardinals tonight in St. Louis. They were rained out last night. The game that was scheduled this afternoon was moved up to this evening, hoping the rains pass. And Wainwright goes up against Chase Anderson tonight. And a long history of the great broadcasters in Reds history. Right in the middle there, the great Joe Nuxall. We were talking the other day about Nuxie making his major league debut at the age of 15, Bob. Can you imagine that?
15 years old.
And Scooter Gennett, first at bat, first pitch against Juan Nicasio, singles to right. Came on in the double switch.
I was reading about the Bob Feller. This first game struck out 15 and then went back to finish his senior year in high school.
Nuxall came on at the age of 15, made I think one relief appearance. He went back to high school.
Now he's the youngest ever, right?
Yeah.
Nuxall.
And before Bronson Arroyo made his season debut earlier last month, Nuxall had been the oldest Reds pitcher to throw in a ball game, to start a ball game, at the age of 38 in 1966. Bronson Arroyo at the age of 40 started for the Reds on April the 8th against the Cardinals. There is the former Pirate, Bronson Arroyo.
Kind of doing some mentoring of these young pitchers that they have on this team. A nice fit because he's got the personality for that. Always been well liked everywhere he's gone. Even the young days when he was rookie, just getting up to Pittsburgh, you could see that he had that type of character, personality, where he was going to always get along with everybody. People would listen to him, pay attention. Maybe he'd write a song about him.
Yeah.
Very good musician, guitar player, singer.
Seated next to Scott Feldman. The Pirates beat him on Tuesday.
Seemed like for a while there that he might pursue that career.
Yeah.
Music career.
Ball 2 strikes on Hamilton, singled and stole second and scored in the 5th. He's 1 for 3. Nova goes 6, gives up 10 hits on 4 runs, no walks, 5 strikeouts, and on the hook. And that stolen base by Hamilton, 200th of his career. He had been in a tie for 7th all-time stolen base list in the Reds history with Ed Roush. Bob, were you around in March of 1988 at spring training, March 21st, 1988, when a gentleman at the age of 94 suffered a heart attack before the Pirates were playing the Texas Rangers and passed away at 94. And I believe the Pirates for a time even named that press room that they used to have beyond the left field seating section, the Ed Roush press room. Ed Roush, the Hall of Famer, had 199 stolen bases with the Cincinnati Reds, and Hamilton again passes him, and He's now pursuing Vada Pinson on the all-time list. I didn't realize not only was Ed Roush a Hall of Famer and the oldest living member of the Hall of Fame at that time, he was one of the great outfielders of all time. As this play goes 5-4. And he had been a longtime Bradenton, Florida resident. Some 35 years he spent his winter months in Bradenton. And really a great career. He and Bill McKechnie were buddies and once traded together from the New York Giants to the Cincinnati Reds because Roush didn't get along with manager John McGraw in New York. He and Bill McKechnie and Christy Mathewson were traded from the Giants to the Cincinnati Reds in what was for a long time known as the Hall of Fame trade. How about those three guys, all three Hall of Famers, the same deal.
Yeah, I remember we talked about this last year a little bit, didn't we? About that trade and all the intrigue that was involved, and what was going on. I think I had Roush when I was in the minor leagues. One year we played the Stratomatic.
Oh yeah.
And we had a Hall of Fame league basically.
And you had
he was
Roush
maybe on my team, but I know he was in that league. What a great game that is. Huh?
Oh my gosh, yeah. Popped up. Bell. Second out. Jose Peraza retired.
Has nothing to do with how quick you are with your thumbs or anything. You
That's
actually
right.
have to think things through, make decisions. Great game.
How about Ed Roush hit with a 48-ounce bat?
You know, I wonder if that was even all that
It was
uncommon.
bigger than Babe Ruth's.
Yeah. The heavy bats were very popular then.
John McGraw apparently didn't like that fact, the manager of the Giants. One of the reasons they didn't get along.
Did he use a heavy bat? Things haven't changed, have they?
What bothers some
What
people?
causes problems? Who do you think you are? You can't use a heavier bat than Babe Ruth.
Well, Ed Roush showed him a year later, won the batting title.
Babe Ruth also could steal some bases.
Yeah.
I saw the other day, I was looking at, I think he had, I think it was 10 times he stole home.
Not much that guy couldn't do.
Great pitcher.
Billy Hamilton on at first with 2 outs. Joey Votto has 2 hits and 3 at bats. Juan Nicasio relieves Nova. Well, you look at Votto's career numbers, talking about Hall of Famers, and few players in the history of the game have put up the numbers that Votto has. Those that have, many are in the Hall of Fame. 311 career batting average, all the years he has led the league in on-base percentage. Hamilton is creeping. 3-0.
I found that note on Babe Ruth where he had 10 career steals of home, which is more than Ricky Henderson, Lou Brock, Tim Raines combined. They had 9. And that was in the era of stealing bases. But home's a different animal.
Yeah.
Stealing home is definitely takes a knack, especially if it's not a double steal.
He had the green light. 19 players in Major League history through their first 10 seasons of their careers produced at least a .313 batting average, 221 homers, 730 ribbies, and a .961 OPS. Votto is one of them. The others: Albert Pujols, Todd Helton, Vladimir Guerrero, Manny Ramirez, Mike Piazza, Frank Thomas, Willie Mays, Ted Williams, Joe DiMaggio, Johnny Mize, Hank Greenberg, Chuck Klein, Mel Ott, Jimmy Fox, Lou Gehrig, Hack Wilson, Babe Ruth. Brings up Adam Duvall. Just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in the game, brought to you by Miller Lite. 2 hits for Duvall. Last time up, tripled in a run. He's driven in a pair. Pirates down 2, and Duvall looking to deliver a knockout punch. The Reds have won 5 of the 6 games in the season series. Last time the Reds started a season 6-1 against Pittsburgh, 1986.
'86, a lot of people started 6-1 against us.
That
was a bad year,
yeah.
if I remember correctly. A lot of losses that season.
Jim Leyland's first year, 1986. Pirates went 64-98, and in '87 they went 80-82. Improved to 85-75 in 1988. They had a bunch of injuries in '89. Really hurt them, so they dropped back to 74 wins, 88 losses, and then 1990 began that string of winning 3 consecutive National League Eastern Division titles. On a strike on Duvall.
So that's that situation they're talking about where the pitcher gets into the stretch and just holds it for 1,001, 1,002, 1,003, 1,004. Now eventually you got to go ahead and give the hitter time. You can't make him just stand there and wait. So in that scenario, time was granted.
Two count now. Brief word from Alan Hansen to Juan Nicasio.
A lot of mound discussions going on. Last little discussion was about that man right there. It's not so important to keep him at second with 2 outs. But if you do let him run, then Votto.
Nice job. The Pirates get the final out. Bell to Nicasio as Hamilton did take off on the pitch. Pirates down a pair.
is done. Summertime is ours to run.
Kick off your weekend with the Bucks and some of the best bands in the burg during Friday Night Rocks. Get tuned into Pittsburgh's music scene as we showcase local artists and tracks throughout every Friday Night Pirates broadcast. Good Brother Earl is this week's performer on Friday Night Rocks, presented by IC Light. That's tomorrow night. Bucks back home. And back in the dugout is a rocker, Bronson Arroyo. Bob mentioned, very talented musician. Now Lorenzen pitched a scoreless seventh, a 1-2-3 seventh inning. Juan Nicasio scoreless bottom half of the seventh. There with Francisco Cervelli. Jaso 0 for 3. Pirates with 6 hits. It's take a while to get to. Yeah, we're going to have to wait till after the game.
Leave that one where it is.
Oh, yeah, I might work at it, but no. Might look in there for an old Pirates pitcher inside that tarp. It's one of Steve's favorite stories.
A real
minor
old,
league game at
War
Memorial.
Real old one.
One hopper to Votto. 1 out.
In the old days, they used to use the rain tarps as that's where the meditation rooms were.
Yeah,
you'd go in there and you'd meditate.
Get away from everybody.
You'd meditate for a while. Now they have actually other things for that.
Steve tells the story about a minor league pitcher when he was in the minor leagues. They were playing a game in Buffalo, and it had been a late night, and this one pitcher apparently was trying to get some rest inside that tarp. Not sure who the manager was, but he came out and said, "Go get so-and-so," and the rest of the team said, "No, you don't want him." I said, "Go get so-and-so." Okay, so they they got a bat and started rattling it, and out he comes, all dirty, looking like Pigpen. 2-0.
I think I heard him tell that one story one time that it was Wrigley, because the bullpens were right there at the edge, and somebody crawled in there.
3-0 the count on McCutcheon.
You know, I think some of Steve's stories he adjusts every now and then.
Got to keep them fresh.
Yeah, you know.
And I think some of the names and venues are done to protect the innocent. So that's what I was doing.
Oh, okay.
You might be right. He might have said Wrigley, but
that just doesn't give anything away.
No, that's right.
Wrigley. Been anybody.
3-2. McCutcheon thought maybe ball 4. Bouncer, second baseman right there, Scooter Gennett. Head to the North Shore tomorrow night. Zambelli Fireworks follow the 7:05 game against the Brewers. After the game, spectacular Zambelli Fireworks show. Get your tickets at pirates.com/fireworks. Three-game homestand starts tomorrow night. Pirates down to their last 4 outs. Here's Gregory Polanco. Tim Adelman went 6. Gave up 2 runs on 4 hits. Adelman won 4 games last year in 13 starts. David Freese looks on. Still don't have any timetable for his return, and this should be an easy 1-2-3 inning for Michael Lorenzen. It's 6 up and 6 down for Lorenzen.
Brought to you by Barrel. Visit barrel.com to learn more about our 3 conveniently located service centers. And by Levin's, the official furniture and mattress supplier to the Pittsburgh Pirates. For the best quality, service, and value, shop Levin's. Let's go Bucks!
Pirates trailing here in Cincinnati 4-2 to the bottom of the 8th inning. Last game of the 4-game series after winning 2 of 3 in Miami. Reds threatening to take 3 of 4 in this series. They will stay home. Pirates will head home. Reds are getting ready to entertain the San Francisco Giants and then the New York Yankees next week. Eugenio Suarez 0 for 3. Daniel Hudson.
Hudson's numbers, they're really not what you would expect, especially that opponent batting average very high right now.
Closer for the Reds, Raisel Iglesias. Hudson suffered the loss on Monday night. Walked Tucker Barnhart with 1 out. Threw a ball away on an errant pickoff attempt and then gave up the base hit to Billy Hamilton that won it. Three-two count. Starts this Bottom of the 8th inning off with a walk. Pirates again returning to PNC Park, that brief 3-game homestand. The Brewers' Chad Kuhl will start against Jimmy Nelson. Coverage begins at 6:30 with Pirates pregame presented by WB Mason on Root Sports. And Chad Kuhl was knocked out in that last start.
Got the hood up
Sunday.
Starting to rain again.
Kuhl got hit by a line drive off the bat of D. Gordon in the 5th inning, hit off his right knee. Scary moment. Writhing in pain in front of the mound. Turned out to be just a bruise, so he'll go back at it tomorrow night. Really hoping for a bounce back start from his worst major league outing, as the catch is made by Ngope in shallow left. Kuhl. It's Gordon leading off. Pirates were ahead 3-2 at that point. He tried to stay in the ball game, but Clint Hurdle didn't like what he saw in the warm-ups. Got him out of there. Eventually Trevor Williams would give up a run, and he would end up suffering the loss.
It's kind of a tough gamble sometimes to take, especially with a young guy that has something going on with foot, ankle, knee. And is he going to compensate and hurt his arm? So being conservative and getting out of the game.
Patrick Kivlahan pinch hitting for Lorenzen. Hudson signed a 2-year free agent contract to be a setup man. And Felipe Rivero setting up Tony Watson. And Hudson having trouble kind of finding his footing. Former starter with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Converted to a bullpen role 2 years ago. 30-year-old from Lynchburg, Virginia. Was drafted in the 5th round in 2008 by the White Sox out of Old Dominion University. And you know the story, undergoing 2 Tommy John surgeries. Today's Pirates starter Ivan Nova had that ligament replacement surgery in April of 2013.
Got to believe that more have than not.
Yeah.
It's almost like there's 2 kinds of pitchers: those that have, and those that are going to. Sitting down after the game the other night at a local eating establishment that has sports memorabilia in the table, bar, whatever.
Swing and a miss, and strike him out, throw him out, double play.
I was going to say the Tommy John card was right in front of me.
I think a local eating establishment is a restaurant.
Exactly.
Yeah. Just as it has started to rain. Game got started almost an hour late. It looked bleak actually this morning. Didn't think we'd play this one at all. They saw that window.
Nova went out to warm up for the normal game time, and at that point it started raining fairly hard. They had no choice but to delay it.
Well, Josh Bell will lead things off against Raisel Iglesias. Closer for the Cincinnati Reds.
He's tough, a hard thrower. He got excellent movement on his fastball. I would say a 3/4 style release where he gets a lot of side spin, and it'll take that ball, run it away from the lefty, get it down a little bit. It sinks quite a bit.
Fouled out of play by Bell. Iglesias
having a tough time with his footing out there. Spent a lot of time back on the cleat cleaner.
Pitched a 1-2-3 ninth inning. The Reds 7-2 victory last night.
Again, he's looking down at the mound. What happens is the cleats, they fill up with the dirt. And so it's like not having cleats on at all, like just having flat bottom shoes. So when you plant your front foot, it moves forward a little bit, starts sliding.
And Josh Bell gets the inning going with a broken bat single to center.
One of those fastballs that were really sinking and going away from him, and was able to get the very end of the bat to it. That's why the bat came in half.
Francisco Cervelli will come to the plate.
See how this ball gets down right on the end of the bat. There's the movement. Look at that ball go down. Puts a lot of stress on that handle because there's so much leverage when the ball hits the very end of the bat, and the handle just can't take it, especially on those hickory bats. That's what those are, right? Hickory?
I assume so. Speaking of leverage, this is a high leverage situation for Iglesias. Oh, it's not?
No.
Oh. I guess that's not really the proper use of the word, is it?
It's not the way I use it.
Oh.
Leverage is like when I got the big stick the other day to open the window over here.
Yeah, you used it as leverage.
I had to apply leverage to get it to move.
Maybe higher pressure situation would be better. What do you think?
Well, that's what they used to call it.
Oh. 0-1.
Tying run at the plate. That makes it a high leverage situation. A save situation. They could call it that. Right?
Yeah, could do that.
Just say that. Just say save situation.
Iglesias picked up the save on Sunday against the Cardinals, pitched 2 scoreless innings. Drops down, but 96 misses.
It's a slippery situation. Like Barnhart fell there, couldn't get his footing. Tie this game up here. We're going to have to get the cat litter out.
Iglesias signed a 7-year contract in June of 2014. Cuban defector. Iglesias came to the big leagues as a starter 2 years ago, went 3-7 with a 4.15 ERA, and the Reds converted him to the bullpen last year, and he became quite a weapon as the closer. Just once Aroldis Chapman was traded, they're looking for someone, and there's a strikeout, one away.
You know that you get that a lot of movement on your fastball when you can get a check swing on the fastball, almost like it was a breaking pitch. Now Cervelli, he starts the bat thinking that that's going to be knee high, and he saw it start to go down and tried to hold up. Umpire says nope, it went. But that's the kind of swing, that check swing you'll get on like a hard slider, splitter, pitch like that.
So Osuna pinch hitting for Hansen.
Looking for a home run.
Osuna with 33 major league at bats. And off the tip of the glove of the shortstop. But fortunately for the Reds, Peraza got enough of it that it settled in shallow left, and his bad throw is picked by Jeanette.
Yeah, Scooter really saved everybody there. That was a tough in-between hop. He got out at second base and was able to stay with it and pick it. Because right here, it's still going to be an easy out, but panic sets in and the ball is thrown right into the ground. But Scooter was able to pick it out of there and get the force. That was almost a huge break for the Pirates.
And now Elias Diaz pinch hitting with 8 major league at bats this season. He had 4 at bats last year in his major league debut.
First big league hit in this series.
This gives you an idea about what has happened to this Pirates club, though, without guys like Marte, Gong, David Freese, and even Adam Frazier, that they have had to resort to a lot of inexperience. Osuna pinch hitting for Hansen, Diaz batting for Ngope. David Freese.
Hopefully it won't be long for him. Playing some catch today.
Jordy Mercer out on deck should Diaz be able to reach. Right now he's in the hole 1-2. Addressing that situation with Cervelli out for a time and the Pirates having to call up eventually Diaz. There's that emergency on Sunday. They had John Borman up from high A-ball Bradenton, but Clint Hurdle said he's not a fan of having 3 catchers on a roster, and they'll reassess the situation. Cervelli comes out at today okay. He didn't say it, but it sounds as though they'd want to get Diaz back in there playing every day. AAA as Osuna takes second uncontested. Defensive indifference. So what a situation here for Diaz. He knows what's going on here. This could be his last at bat for the Pirates for a time. Called third strike. Reds take 3 of 4, and they begin the season series 6-1 against Pittsburgh.
Yeah, the Reds early on here certainly have something going over the Pirates to start off 6-1. It looked like it was going to be a nice strong road trip. What happened in Miami, but it doesn't end up that way. A little quick 3-game series at home. A little bit of a pit stop, getting ready to go out onto the West Coast. Have to do some good work versus the Brewers.
Back to Pittsburgh, Dan Potash and Teak.